I listen.
You're good.
Hello, wait, there's Ashley. Hello everybody in Facebook land, look at this, we're going to be live tonight. The Dish on Dogs, we got Kristin, Pete, our friends from Detroit. We got a bully breed over here. We got a very, very dangerous Rottweiler. A killer Rottweiler's here with us today. During our break, we're going to do a little, if you're on Facebook obviously watching us, you're going to watch a little demonstration which Kristin is going to perform for you. It's simple stuff, just managing a big dog, a big powerful dog, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we just ran into the studio, we're like crazy panicking, running around. Ashley Pizzo's with us, Danielle's there, the whole crew. What's happening? Let's see, I gotta have my scotch, coffee. Jackie's hopefully going to be directing me. She's going to tell me what I shouldn't say and what I do.
It's not normal if Mike doesn't have a coffee.
Right.
Brooklyn's fired up about this.
So if you stay with us on Facebook, we take a 2-minute break where we're just going to talk. But if you stay with us, our second break is 7 minutes long. And that's where we're going to take this beautiful dog, Brooklyn, Kristin, better known as Trendy from Detroit. That's her gangster name. Trendy from Detroit. And of course, Pete's here. They started their franchise training today. It's really cool. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. We're going to relax, have fun. At some point, Brooklyn will be jumping off that bench and laying down. He sees himself in the mirror window right now and understanding we're in a bubble at the airport. This is like literally a fish bubble. It's like a fish bubble, and we're at an airport. There's distractions. Good?
10,
Oh.
9.
And 5, 4, 3.
Don't stare at her. Don't. Let's see. Welcome everybody, welcome to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host Mike Gould, you're listening to the Dish on Dogs. We're live, 103.9 from LI News Radio, and for those of you who are on Facebook, if you go to, what do we go to, Ashley? Hounds Town Radio? Facebook page, and you'll see we have all kinds of good things happening. Tonight we're being joined by our two newest franchisees, from Detroit. They're going to be opening probably in the beginning of October, mid-October. They're really great people, Pete and Kristin. And we also have with us, for those of you watching, we have Brooklyn. She's a 2-year-old Rottweiler. She's adorable. She obviously is a bully breed. 20 years ago, we got to think about this. This dog would be banned in certain cities just because of its breed, which is ridiculous. So we're going to talk about BLS later on, BSL, breed-specific legislation. We're going to talk about probably the ridiculousness of that, but we're going to talk more importantly, once we get going, about franchising in our second segment, and we're also going to talk about responsible pet ownership. At the end of every dog accident is an irresponsible human being that misunderstood, didn't do the right things with their dog. And Brooklyn, the 2-year-old Rottie that's sitting here, we're going to demonstrate that she doesn't have an aggressive bone in her body because she was properly trained and socialized by the owner. So let's first introduce, again, I'm Mike Gould, I'm mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the happiest dogs on earth. Home to the happiest dogs on earth. So for those of you who are listening, never heard of Hounds Town, Hounds Town is a fully interactive pet care environment, dogs. So we put our big thing in life is taking dogs like Brooklyn that may have a breed stereotype and have her interact in a group. We socialize them, and it's really what you're really going to see is interactive daycare is not just dogs playing, it's actually psychologically therapeutic. You're not going to see overweight dogs in our playrooms. You're going to see dogs that are nice and balanced and stable. Rotties are known for arthritis as they get older. When they get to be 5 or 6 years old, hip problems. These big breed dogs have hip problems. We're going to minimize that by having her running around all day long, just like human beings. So, Hounds Town USA, I think we have like 24. Are you going to join us on the radio
We don't have a chair, so.
Oh man, all right. Well, we can have the dog get up and give you a chair. What's wrong with it?
Second
All right,
segment.
second segment. Ashley
I'll get the
Pizzo.
chair for you.
Ashley Pizzo's leaving us, by the way, to take on new responsibilities, getting away from us crazy people at Hounds Town and going into another crazy world. What else do I need to know here? So the goal of our show, what is Hounds Town? It's called The Dish on Dogs. It's a clever name created by Jackie Bondanza. We dish out information on dogs. We everything we do is about taking what humans think dogs should be and do and what they actually need. And that's part of our franchise training. So Pete and Kristin and I, we did that today. We kind of look at dogs hopefully in a different way. I always got to give my shout outs to my friend Joan and Tom Sullivan. They are the voice of reason down in Beverly Hills, Florida. They're not movie stars. They're down in Beverly Hills, Florida, not in Los Angeles. And they are the voice of reason. Joan is the wiser of the two. And people are going by smiling at our friend Brooklyn, and she's sitting there perfectly polite. So, I want to introduce Pete from Detroit.
Hello.
And Kristin. Get close to that microphone.
Hello.
Hey, you get a little closer.
Hey,
This is
everyone
like,
from Detroit.
yeah. Shout out to our homies out in Detroit.
Indeed.
Yeah, so they're here, and they came in last night. They flew in. Their arms are killing them, and all right. So close to got up. Got to stay about 2 inches from this microphone so everybody can hear us. Right. So they're our newest franchisees. So tell us little bit about. How you tell us a little bit about your business background and how the hell you ended here. We talked today. You're like a year ago. You would have never knew you'd be sitting here at Hounds Town. What's that all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So we had a employee benefit agency, family-owned employee benefit agency, and we sold this past year to another agency, a regional firm. And about a year ago, I basically was without a job at the point, and was talking with Kristin and started looking into opportunities through franchises. Didn't know what type of industry we were looking into or anything. Stumbled onto a couple local kind of pet daycare places, and as Kristin and I were talking through it, looking at why they were selling, we figured, my gosh, there's so much more they could do with these places to make them successful. Then we started looking into franchise opportunities with the dog daycare business. And Kristin's actually the one that found Hounds Town. And
Yay, Kristin.
thank God, and we looked into it a little bit more, looked at your background, which obviously drew us in. And then I put in an application, and about 2 days later, if that, maybe it was the next day, I got a phone call, and we were off to the races.
The rest is history.
Yes.
So Kristin, tell us a little about. Are you excited about this? What's your?
Very excited. I mean, this time a year ago, I just never would have imagined we'd be sitting here right now.
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, just.
We're laughing because Brooklyn wants to give Kristin a kiss, but go ahead.
I mean, there's been times where it seemed it's taken us forever to get to this point, and then there's times the other side of the coin that we're already here.
Looks like it flew by.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we needed more time.
Right. Well, in many respects, you guys are actually moving faster than almost any franchisee we have. So that's kudos to you for being. Pete's a little OCD, I think. So he's up at 6 o'clock. I kind of picked up on that, but that's important. And on the second segment, we're going to take a 2-minute break in a few minutes, and then we're going to just talk about franchising. Why you didn't just open your own Pete and Kristin's doggy daycare in Michigan and Detroit. We'll talk about where you are in Detroit and what made you think about franchising, because franchising is kind of a unique kind of business partnership and relationship, and it has, like everything, it's got pluses and minuses. I obviously like to highlight both the pluses and the minuses in our new business, because we're in business together now. We're kind of part of a family for the next 10 years. We've signed an agreement, and we'll let our listeners understand, because I don't think a lot of people understand the benefits of franchising nor the downfalls of it.
That was a big part of the appeal of us getting involved, was the relationship that we can have with the franchisor and the franchisee. We can learn so much from each other, but then, you know, take
Right.
your experiences and put them.
And I think that's important. And of course, there's good and bad and everything. There's horrible franchises out there. There's ones that go out of business, you know, yogurt franchise, you know, they're kind of trendy things that they come in business, they go out of business. Oh, I'm sorry, trendy. I didn't mean that. You know, but there's certain things. If you're in like look at a Blockbuster Video 20 years ago, that was the greatest franchise in the world. Now they're out of business because technology has taken over. So you kind of, I'm hoping, you know, there's no real technology that's going to replace what we do. Not in the near future anyway. And we talk about franchising. It's a small business, so it's still literally a mom and pop operation, but you have the support of a franchise team that's going to hold your hand. And we talk about it. It's owning a business on training wheels. So we hold your hand, literally, especially with dogs. I've been literally holding your hands today, walking around and interacting with dogs. So that's the benefit of it. Of course, selecting, we have our competitors, and we're going to talk about our competitors in the third segment. But it's good. So far was your first day of training. What did you think?
It was great. It was great. Kind of put me at ease a little bit. I think my lack really of dog behavior, as far as experiences with dog behavior, just owning a dog obviously doesn't give you that experience.
Right.
And I think it was refreshing to see that you know you're able to work with people like us on that you know on that end.
Right. Absolutely.
You know?
You, Kristin, what did you?
I had a lot of fun. I mean, it is crazy how differently you have to think.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about that. And the truth of the matter is, we want people with no experience. I'd rather you not even know which end of the dog is up. The problem is your experience, because most people, everybody has some kind of dog experience. Everybody's had a dog, knew a dog, and they watch television, so they come to the table with preconceived ideas. In our world, we just want to know you're good, passionate, cool, fun people that are taking this business model serious. The rest is, we got it. We got you covered. We can take care of all of this. And so it's exciting for us. We're super exciting to be in Detroit. We're going to take a 2-minute break, and we'll still be on Facebook for those people out there. I can curse. When we go on Facebook, I can use foul language. So it's hard.
Not much.
It's like verbal skinny dipping. As soon as I get off the radio here, I can curse. All right, we'll see you in 2 minutes.
Keep it above the waist. Right.
Right. Okay, guys. So I hope you're listening. Is anybody listening? Is Jackie out there?
We
Is
got
any...
up to 11 just
good. All right, so you 11 people that don't have a life, hi, how are you? It's, what's tonight?
Yeah,
Which one?
we should have promoted it earlier.
Well, we're going to get this, and this will
Yeah.
be, for those of you that listen, that when they listen, we put it on our website so you can watch this whole thing.
Okay.
What do I want to know? Let's see my notes. Ashley, is there anything I got to know
Brooklyn,
about?
you're being so good.
Yeah, isn't that amazing that she's
She's
sitting there?
fantastic.
She really
But
is.
if you see, is Brooklyn's mommy watching?
Yeah, she is.
Hi, Brooklyn's mommy. She's doing good. You should be very proud of Brooklyn. Look at her. She's an angel. She's like a movie star here.
Kristin's new best friend.
Yeah.
She-
And here's-
I love your dog.
She loves her dog. However, with all honesty, yesterday I asked her what was the biggest fearful dog, and it was a Rottweiler. Now they're BFFs.
Yes.
So, you know, and really Brooklyn is such a, you know, really a joy. You don't come across, and it has nothing to do with that she's a Rottweiler, but she's so balanced. She's cooperative. She'll go with anybody, anywhere. She's. I beg your pardon. What happened, just for those folks you're watching on Facebook, somebody is lurking around outside our window here. And
Trash
Brooklyn's,
can.
what's that?
With a trash can.
With a trash can. So that's a trigger for a dog. That's a trigger. And she went, "Arr."
And Kristin kept her cool though.
Yeah, but that's exactly the
Look like a
point.
big shadow.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what the dogs are, a big shadow.
Yeah.
Brooklyn's Gigi is watching also.
Who's Gigi?
Oh,
Grandma or Grandpa?
Grandma.
Hi, Grandma. You got a wonderful granddaughter. You got a wonderful four-legged granddaughter.
My mom's nickname's Gigi.
Yeah.
In 5, 4, 3.
You just really good back.
Brooklyn said what? Back on.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You're listening to The Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, affectionately known as the mayor of Hounds Town USA. I think we have, about 26 locations. And what is Hounds Town? They're fully interactive pet care facilities, and we do it better than anyone else because we understand the dog brain. Hounds Town USA, we do daycare, boarding, and grooming, and it's owned by wonderful people who follow our system. And tonight we were lucky enough to have Kristin and Pete from Detroit in town here today. They come here for their franchise training. What does that mean? Is that they are opening in a relatively short period of time. They did their build out, and as we discussed before the break, franchising, operating a small business is not easy. So if you don't have the intestinal fork, there goes Gigi.
Your granddaughter.
Her granddaughter just banged her head, but don't worry, she jumped off the set. So franchising is a kind of a funny thing, and there's a lot of obstacles and hurdles, and running any small business is difficult. So with franchising, you have the support of a corporate team, but yet you have the freedom to run your business, and kind of independently. And so that's what Hounds Town brings to the table, I think. I think our reputation precedes us. Since our inceptions, we've taken care of 1.2 million dogs. We have 7 locations on Long Island, 2 in Jersey. We're going to have 2 in Pittsburgh. Pete and Kristin are going to be opening up 3 in Detroit. So we're Orlando. We're really moving forward. And I'm very proud of the fact that we can get dedicated and committed franchisees that are willing to trust us. So there's a trust issue, right? So it's a business relationship. We have to trust them, and they have to trust us. And so far, things have been working out spectacularly. What do I want to talk about? So Hounds Town USA, or The Dish on Dogs, we try to explain why do dogs jump. Why do they dig? Why do they bark? Why do they lick their genitals? We go over these things in great detail. Right, Ashley? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and people don't understand. So we have a human brain we use the word anthropomorphize, meaning we humanize dog behavior. And we put a lot of human emotion into it. And dogs kind of suck the emotion out of us. They're kind of like emotional vampires. They can suck everything out of you, suck the life out of you. So what we try to explain to our customers is we allow the dogs to come to a safe environment where they can run around all day long like children would in a playground, and then they go home tired and they're stimulated psychologically, physically. So, all right, how do people see us on Facebook? How do they even see this radio show?
So they can go on Facebook Live every night, Monday, 8 o'clock.
I'm listening.
Also, just make sure it puts mic on. It's perfect.
It's on. I'm listening.
Right? Oh, okay, good.
Professor.
But they can go onto Facebook, watch our previous shows, our live shows, and they also go on to YouTube, Hounds Town USA, and all the shows are posted up there.
All right, cool. All right, and there are some interesting shows, I think. I mean, they're not all as interesting. This is going to be the best ratings of yet because
Detroit's here.
right, Trendy's here and BS Man's here, so we got it all going on.
Those are our nicknames. Yes,
We'll spell it out during our break. Pete's gangster name. I don't even know how it came up, but we're being silly. One of the things we do is be silly. That's part of our business model. A lot of our competitors, they take this process so seriously, and it's like, I'm not going to say they intentionally lie, but they exploit the emotions of our customers. Our customers love their dogs. They're emotional. They'll do anything for their dog. So if a pet care facility says you want to buy an ice cream cone for $3, do you want bottled water for your dog? This is an exploitation because who's going to say no, I don't want to spend $1 for my dog's bottled water. So that frankly makes me sick because dogs don't need any of that. We give them very clean, healthy water, and we treat them wonderfully. Our facilities are clean, and the dogs have fun. I like to say they can come hump, jump, and dump, and have, if you don't think that's funny, I'm not being literal. So people are like, I don't know if I want to say that hump, jump, and dump. But that's what they do because what happens at Hounds Town, they can, the point is, what did she say?
Said who doesn't?
Right, exactly. Thank you, Kristin. Who doesn't? And isn't it nice Isn't it nice for the dog? Think of your dog at home, folks. Your dog, they can't do any of those things. They can't hump, jump, or dump. You'll be screaming at them. They'll be yelling there. There's just this crazy kind of toxic energy. So when we let them into our playrooms, they go and they run and they play. As Kristin said, everybody wants to, right? So if you take children, any children, it doesn't matter their language, you can go to Morocco and have 5-year-old kids and give them a puddle, there's a puddle of water and a soccer ball, and they'll have a blast. You don't have to speak their language. Kids just gravitate to water and playing with a ball. It's that simple. And that's why what we do at Hounds Town is keep it simple and fun. Simple and fun. We've done it, like I said, 1.2 million times. Does dogs pull a muscle here, get a little nip here? Of course, no different than kids playing football, hockey, jiu-jitsu. If they don't get wet or if they don't get dirty, that means they didn't do anything. They stayed on the bench.
They didn't have any fun.
Right, they're not having fun. All right, so let's get back to today. What happened? What's your experience thus far with Hounds Town? You're excited. What's your biggest apprehension opening in a couple of weeks? Kristin, Trendy.
Apprehension.
Oh, what's
Today made me really.
Yeah.
Today, I got really excited about opening.
Why? What was the what? Like you came today, you showed up. We say hello. How you doing? You told me.
I was very timid. With this big difference on thinking, the human brain versus the dog brain, and don't touch and
Don't look, talk, and touch.
Right. And because I'm very emotionally,
Emotional. Yeah,
correct.
and that's a very nice trait for humans to be
And I
towards
kept
us.
saying, aw,
Right.
and I kept wanting to
Yeah.
feel for the
Mike
dogs.
loved that when you
and-
said, "Oh," every time.
So, no, and just watching the daily operation of how the store was run, it gave me the overall feel that I didn't know until today. And just watching the dogs and seeing the dogs' behavior, and then having the practice with Brooklyn and getting over that fear. I had a true fear
Right.
of Rottweilers, and just it made me excited.
Right, and really relax. So if you think of this, we spent about 4 hours today interacting with dogs, and you've gone from exactly that. So you're very honest. You said, I have anxiety. I'm very emotional. I love dogs. I want to look, talk, and touch them. And you were conflicted because you thought if you don't, dogs feel bad and so forth. And that's a normal human emotion. And then by the end of the day, and as we're going to demonstrate in 2 minutes, we're going to take Brooklyn out, and you're going to be a leader of the dog. And by being a leader, the dog is going to be more relaxed. And for those listening at home, it doesn't sound like much, but it's so simple. Most people can't do it because dogs suck the life. So if you stop looking, talking, and touching, just do it for half an hour. You're probably staring at your dog right now lying on the floor. Just stop for a minute. You know, the irony is I watch couples, they don't look and touch each other. But with the dogs are like they're staring at the door. The dog is, so it's like, it's really kind of a funny phenomenon.
Well, it was amazing to see because it was almost like the dog respected you more being in that role than your,
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, the dog respected her more when she was.
And that's a
doing what
good
you
word.
showed
And
her.
it's not heavy-handed. You're going to see we're not going to do anything here. In fact, we don't use pinch collars, electric collars, chain collars, nothing. We use basically a piece of rope that we call a kennel lead, and that's how we walk dogs. That's our management tool. So if you're lucky enough, stick with us. Live Facebook. There's a lot happening at the airport. Not really. Not tonight. I think it's an abandoned airport. What the hell is going on here? Maybe there was evacuated. Is there something we don't know? Because I haven't seen any. So we're going to take a break. Stay with us on Facebook. Those of you out there that's not on Facebook, we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Come back and join us. We're going to talk to Pete and Kristin. We're going to talk about the dog brain a little bit more and breed-specific legislation. Join us in about 7 minutes. All right, kids. So why don't you start there, Professor? You take a little over. Get some treats, and then we're going to have our camera woman. You're going to follow us around. And it's gonna be fun,
Why
fun,
don't you show
fun.
us your skills here?
Yeah, you gotta show off the skills.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is all
What the hell,
you.
listen.
What is the
Oh, you
raccoon
will
tail?
find out.
Oh.
Mike's favorite toy.
Yeah, I was having an anxiety
Well,
attack, but
now
they
you're
lost.
like throwing something in the mix.
Yeah, we are. We're always throwing stuff in the mix.
Gotta catch you off guard.
Yeah, exactly. So put her in the car down. That girl. Who's gonna work the car? All right, so here we are, zooming over here. So here's my human brain, and when I talk to humans, I use my human brain. When I talk to dogs, I take it off. So here's our little squirrel. Let's see how she reacts to Brooklyn. She's correcting her to distract her from this, whatever it is, to the dog. I mean, this is as good as I can get without getting, there she goes, make her right. And then, Kristin, just join her, walk along her side, walk along Ashley's side. Just catch up with her. She's going to pass the leash. And then come here, come to the right by me. Relax your arms. Look at this. So when the dog does something that's distracted, her ears are forward, Kristin's just going to snap that a little. Make a right turn. Just make a right and go. Go, go, go. Relax your shoulders, relax your body. Beautiful. So the world is full of distractions. We don't understand, we accept the distractions. Our human brain can tell us what things are. Head right, make a right here. I forgot. And then if you don't mind, just loosen up a little. Don't restrain her. Don't restrain her. Give her a little more slack. Good. And then head over to the table there and see if you just start walking fast towards it. Tell her, hop, 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 hop. Oh, good, good, good. That's good. And then relax. Well, okay, no problem here. Just turn her. Let's see. Let me see if I can help her. So I just want to move fast. And I'm going to help her. So this was just a perceptual thing. Kristin is like 110,000 times better than she was this morning. Stop staring. So I'm going to go over. And this is where I'm going to mark this behavior. So she's in a place. It's a very... She's not the most... she's very bright. She just needs to go to charm school or something. She needs ballet lessons. So I give her a treat, right? And then she has her treat. And then go grab me the bed inside, Pete. So we have a place for the dog. And now we can be in our backyard, we can be having a party. But the dog, we have to make sure we're not staring, talking, and touching. There is no talking. So then I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it down. And if you do this consistently, the dog will always be up here. So this is obvious, a little awkward, uncomfortable, because he's on a bench, So I'm going to take her off. This is kind of a small bed. A small bed for her, but she'll stay there. Stay. And I always give her a treat. And she doesn't know what the hell's happening, so I'm going to put her on here. I'm going to correct a little. She gets her treat. And I walk away. And I don't have to worry about it. I'm supervising. And let's see your little toy. Now, obviously, if this squirrel comes right to her, she might react to it. So I'm watching her ears. Her ears are telling us everything.
You need a new driver.
Yeah, I got a drunken squirrel. So now we're at our little barbecue. We're hanging out. The dog is safe and secure. If we want the dog, this is important for those of you looking out there. When we're standing up, we're like monsters. So what I'm going to ask Kristin to do is come a little closer to me. And here, all she's going to do is drop down low, and the dog will come. Pet your hand, clap your hand. And then she's going to love her, love her, love her. She didn't talk. That was the welcoming command. Crouching down, changing your posture. Looming over a dog is considered very threatening. So we get down low. That's a fact of dog life. You're going to pick up your leash, and you're going to go for a walk. And we're gonna relax, get yourself set up. Not too short. Right. Relax everything. And then left foot forward and go. Good, go. And then off she goes. And make a right. Relax your body. It's all about relaxation. It's opposite of what we think. There's no tension on that leash. Make a left, Kristin. Turn right, left into her. And there's all kinds of distractions at this airport. There's a lot of activity. She's telling us that. Look at her ears. She sees a mop, but she's not pulling. Make her right. And snap and go. So it's a snap is just to distract the dog from something it's focused on that's going to get her in trouble. Look at that. Her little nub is up. Her nub is up. Make a left. I'm going to show you. Beautiful, beautiful. Now what I want you to do is slow down, take baby steps, and come to a stop. She's going to sit. She didn't ask her. Look up. She didn't ask her. The dog sits. You relax. Do me a favor. Drop the leash. Hi. Hey, Brooklyn. 2 minutes. So look, the dog is there. Because Kristin did so well, the dog doesn't even know that she's not holding the leash. Now what Kristin is going to do is pick up the leash. Just the way you did. She's going to set her hands correctly. There's no tension in her body. We had to coach her through this. She's nice and relaxed. The dog sees people 200 yards away. That's what she's focused on, but she's not getting up. Kristin's going to just step out with her left foot, and she's going to go. Good, excellent, good, good, good. Now what I want you to do, we only got 2 minutes, make a right, keep going, Simon says. Good, 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 good. Now make another right, and then come to a stop. Snap, snap, good. She's going to sit. She's distracted by Ashley. Drop the leash. Come over here, say hello. Hi. There was no sit, stay, nothing. All right, we gotta go. We're gonna take, so that's it. Don't look, talk, and touch, relax. Hi. All right, come on in, guys.
There's a ball.
Yeah, I'll get him.
All right, good. You can let her go. Yeah. That was cool. That went fast. This show's going fast. Let's see.
Flying by.
That really is cool how dogs.
Did you see how you dropped the leash? You didn't get up. You shook my hand. Wow.
It is pretty amazing.
Remember
15.
Oh.
10. In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould, Mayor of Hounds Town USA, home to the absolute happiest dogs on earth. How do we know it? We see it. If you want to know whether we're telling the truth, go on any one of our Facebook pages. Any location, go on their Facebook page, and you're going to see happy, well-balanced dogs like Brooklyn. If you watch this little 7-minute demonstration, we weren't trying to have the dog jump through hoops of fire. You have to understand something. Kristin met this dog, Brooklyn, about 8 o'clock this morning. And she physically was handling the dog for about a total of 2 hours at most. And the dog is fine. And here we are at an airport, and the dog is doing perfectly well because dogs are waiting for leadership. They got everything else. They got the best beds, they got the best vet care, the best organic food. But what they don't have is human owners that understand the dog brain, the needs of the dog. And Pete and Kristin are going to spend the next week here, and by the end of this week, they're going to understand this, not completely, but they're certainly going to get a crash course on the human brain versus the dog brain and how to communicate that. So one of the things I want to talk about is breed-specific legislation. That means we, by the way, at Hounds Town USA, we don't discriminate against dogs. So you got to read my lips here. We don't discriminate against dogs, but we do take breeds into consideration, their size, stature, and genetic predispositions. So whether it's a pit bull, 2/3, or maybe a third of our dogs at Hounds Town is a pit bull mix or some version. In our playrooms today, what did we see? We saw Great Danes, we saw boxers,
Huskies.
Huskies.
Yeah.
These are all stereotyped, and there's many municipalities in the United States that ban them, which I think is ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous to ban them. You should increase owner responsibility. You got to drive a car. You should have to take a dog and understand how a big, powerful Rottweiler, how it needs to be operated, so to speak, and how it needs to be managed. And the fact is, most pet owners don't. Every time I go to court or I go to a shelter where a dog has bitten somebody, I can always trace it back to the irresponsibility of the pet owner. It's never not that way. Not one time have I blamed the dog and said, oh my God, this dog has to be put to sleep. Never. What has to happen is the dog has to be managed by responsible people. So a lot of times, people put their dogs in situations. They physically put dogs in a situation that they almost have to, bite somebody. And then what happens to the dog? The dog gets put to sleep because some jackass didn't understand the potential or the propensity of a dog. So it really kind of frustrates me because, one of the things I do is these evaluations. I go to shelters where a dog has bitten somebody. And it's sad because the dog, you saw dogs today, there are all kinds of dogs. So if they nip somebody, but it's, with us, we understand it. With pet owners, they don't understand it. Then they freak out. It's too late when the dog bites somebody, and it's sad. So anyway, and these are the outlawed dogs: pit bulls, Akitas, Chows, Rottweilers, and that's the irony. Dobermans, actually, German Shepherds are considered a bully breed in many states, or not states, but in different municipalities. And how crazy is this? They're the police dogs, Rin Tin Tin was a German Shepherd. So anyway, it's a little bit disturbing to me when people don't take the time to understand their dogs. And obviously, if you have a 20-pound pug, it's not, if a 20-pound pug bites somebody in the ankle, it's not like a dog like Brooklyn, who, if mismanaged, bites somebody. So obviously, Brooklyn is so well behaved, well socialized, but that's the tribute to Gigi and Brooklyn's mom. Because they bring her to Hounds Town USA, and she's been coming for how long, Danielle?
Since she was a puppy.
Thank you, Danielle.
How old is she?
She's 2 or 3.
2 or 3. But there's the answer. She's been coming from a puppy, so she's been socialized since she was. So her behavior was shaped. The dogs that get themselves in trouble are dogs that are tethered to in the backyard or tied up and don't interact with other dogs or humans, and that's where the trouble begins. So Brooklyn's mom is doing the right thing. And our pets we very rarely, as I said earlier, we don't see overweight dogs, we don't see arthritis and so forth, and we have very few problems of accidental bites or anything by our pet owners because we try to educate our pet owners, and we're like a family. Not only is our franchisees a family, but our customers are family. We're not for everybody. If you want to be BS'd, you can go there's always somebody will lie to you and take your money about dogs. Because the one thing we've proven today, I think, is dogs don't talk. Is that true?
That's very
Trendy.
Haven't seen it yet.
Trendy, did you see any dogs talk? Okay. Did you talk to dogs? Yes. They never talk back.
No dogs.
Right. So I have I have this reward, $250,000 for anybody watching on Facebook. Bring me the first talking dog, because then I can pack up my bags, take the talking dog on the road, and I'll be really happy. So the point of the matter is dogs don't talk. They communicate with one another, and now the trick is for humans to understand what that communication is. The irony of it, their communication is simple. Everything you did here today was the dog sat when you stopped, you stepped away from the dog, he stayed. So they're already programmed, kind of, and they're waiting for you, your leadership. So if you think of it in this way, we're kind of weird humans. We've taken the dogs away from their natural litter, right? So we think we're wonderful humans, we love dogs, so we go and we literally remove them from their litter mates, and they have no natural parent. So now we become their surrogate parent, but we don't understand them. Once you understand them, the dogs literally you'll see them relax. You relax the human, the dog relaxes and says, thank God, Kristin understands me. She's going to protect me from the conveyor belts at the airport. She's going to protect me from doors that open and close automatically.
I mean, I watched the dogs completely see her demeanor when she changed. The dogs changed. It was incredible.
It's incredible.
It was instant.
Yeah, it's instant. And I watch, and it's hard. It's not an easy thing. I tell people this is so easy that most people can't do it because we're verbal and we look at things and we talk. 3 things that dogs really don't do, right? They really can't touch each other with their hands because they don't have hands. So yeah, and when I watch human energy, when people's shoulders just start to relax. When I do my seminars, as you well know, I talk a lot. Right? You know that, right? I actually been accused of talking too much for radio. I mean, I thought I was talking. No, they tell me I talk too much. All right. But the point is, when I do these seminars, I usually have couples in the room. They have a dog that's like batshit crazy, and they come to our seminars, and they're sitting there, and it's almost the same. The woman, and this isn't sexist, a woman is just more nurturing and loving and more emotional. Men are a little bit more stoic. They're the hunters and gatherers. And so this is biological. It's not sexist. So they sit there, and when in about an hour or 2 of me talking, particularly if it's like Sunday football game, the man will invariably fall asleep because I'm talking. I can see they can't keep their eyes open, and I'm like, finally, he's got it, and they're like, he's sleeping. Exactly. Exactly. He's about as calm and relaxed. I hypnotized him. It starts off like it did today, a lot of tension and energy and emotion, and then tomorrow it's going to get better, and it's going to get better and better. And then the funny thing is, by the end of the week, you're going to look at other people, walking the dogs when you go back to Detroit, and you're going to be like, this is insane that people are getting dragged down the street down into Lake Michigan. So when we come back after this break, we'll wrap up by talking about your location in Detroit, where it is, kind of the whole thing there, because you are going to be. You guys got your Facebook set up and your email address? All right.
Yes, we do.
So after the break, we're going to come back. I think I talked about breed-specific legislation. The other thing that always pisses me off, usually I get crazy about this time, is this emotional support dogs. No, ESA, emotional support animals. This is the most ridiculous thing on the face of the earth. Do you know you send $150 online to an organization, they will send you 2 vests and an ID card, and you can take your dog on planes and everything out without any evaluation. I bet you didn't know that, Trendy, did you?
Yeah,
did you?
yeah,
No.
The emotional
Support animal.
Yeah.
It could be an alligator, so it doesn't have to be a dog. All right, listen, Dish on Dogs. We're going to be back in 2 minutes to wrap this nonsense up.
I actually did know it was animal because there was a woman getting thrown out of the airport because she tried to bring a squirrel.
Yeah, they get a little bit
Well, it's idiotic.
wild with it.
It's idiotic because dogs don't have. They're as nervous as you are. If you're afraid of flying,
Yeah, they're
they're
gonna be
afraid of. They
scared.
don't want to be shoved under the
I was
seat of an
thinking
airplane.
when you were talking about the old lady that came into your store and you made her put her little dog down.
Right.
I was thinking,
Oh,
you
thank
know,
you, dear.
those are the type
No,
of people
thank
who
you.
have
Okay.
these emotional support
Right.
animals, and
Right.
what they really don't serve a purpose if the owner's making them
Yeah.
Right.
nervous wreck.
Right. Right.
You know, going back to that
Go ahead.
breed-specific, issues, every single time we hear about stories in Detroit, it's obviously a tragic
Oh, right.
thing that happens. Inevitably, though, it's the owner's fault for letting them loose or not,
Not socializing them properly, not temperament, not
It always
understanding.
comes down to that.
Always.
Yeah.
It's never. And it is tragic. I do this all the time. I see kids that are mauled. They are mauled, so it's not a figment of people's imagination. And it is these big, powerful breeds that are doing it.
Yep.
But it's always, I can tell you, Brooklyn is not going to maul a child because mom has taken time to socialize her correctly.
Yep.
But yeah, it's heartbreaking to me, but it pisses me off because then, as I said, who suffers? The dog,
Yeah,
ultimately.
there's got to be tougher penalties for the owners of those.
Right, and it's just
if
like
you-
anything else.
Right.
You just need different. Why wouldn't you just? Well, the AKC has something, the American Kennel Club. I don't know if you ever heard
Sure.
of. what is it called, the Good Citizen Award. And it's just a basic thing. You would have to bring Brooklyn. You'd have to meet just what I did there. You already passed the test. I would have to shake hands with you without the dog lunging at me.
Right.
And you show that you can manage the dog in this environment, and you get a certificate. And that's something.
4, 3.
No. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Dish on Dogs. I'm your host, Mike Gould. We're on Facebook Live tonight, 8 p.m. Monday nights. Stick with us. If you miss a show, you don't have Facebook, you can go on our website, Hounds Town Radio, and watch all these shows. So before the break, I was talking briefly about this breed-specific legislation where bureaucracies, municipalities, they just ban dogs. They don't care about it, they just ban them. And so I'm going to say it and tell you a little police story. So in the 1970s and 80s, Central Park in New York City, it was like if you went in the park after dark, you were sure to get raped, robbed, or murdered. It was just bad. It was horrible. And this was in the 70s and 80s. So the police department, in their infinite wisdom, they closed the park. So they put police around the perimeter of the park, and guess what happened? Crime went down, it was zero, it went down 100%. So when the police, I should say municipalities, just banned, it's like saying cars on the highway, we're going to reduce car accidents, we're not going to let cars on the highway, and then there's no more car accidents. So it's kind of a false narrative. But as we were talking about a little bit, the AKC, the American Kennel Club, has something called the Good Citizen Award. It's very simple and straightforward, and in my mind, every person with a dog should pay the $25, and it's like a liability kind of thing. You get examined, it's like taking your driver's test. And as I was saying to Kristin, what we did during our 7-minute break is the American Good Citizen Award. I could pet the dog, she shook my hand, the dog didn't lunge, the dog didn't pull, she put the dog in, and that's the end of it. But think of how many people can't do that with their dogs. If you think of UC dogs, they really can't do that. So anyway, breed-specific legislation, stupid. There are genetic predispositions of pit bulls, Akitas, chows, Rottweilers. Every dog was bred for a purpose, whether it was German Shepherds or herding dogs. So a lot of times they'll nip people in their ankles. If you ever hear stories about people like the dog is great when you come in the house, but he won't let you leave because they're herding you. So the people I don't get it, but it's a very simple thing. They're herding the people. So, all right, let's talk about Hounds Town, Detroit. Troy. We're going to be up in Troy. It's a little, what to describe. I went to Detroit and I was blown away by it because there's a stereotype about Detroit and certain cities, including Pittsburgh, where I had in my brain something that wasn't there. So when I go to Pittsburgh, I am like, wow. Joe and Cody down there. We have 2 locations there, but it was the best restaurant. It's just a cool city. Now, I go to Detroit, and I'm expecting, I don't know what I'm just...
Gotham City?
Yeah, it's something really negative. So tell me
I got you to the DAC, had a cigar.
Oh, it was great. What is that? The Athletic Club. Detroit
yeah.
Athletic Club. Yeah. So tell us what's happening in Detroit. Like, why is there that perception? And is it real? Was it like that? And
yeah, the perception was a reality back 10 years ago. You know, it was kind of a war zone downtown.
Right.
But things have changed so dramatically, especially over the last 3 to 5 years. And the unity in the city and just how proud people are to say you're from Detroit. That Anthony Bourdain had a thing he just did recently. He said one of the best things in the world for me would have been to be able to say I came from Detroit.
Right.
You know, he was in the city a couple of years ago, right before he actually passed away.
Right.
But in any case, the unity in the city is so cool, and that's why we wanted to have Metro Detroit as part of our name, Hounds Town USA, Metro Detroit. It just will bring so many people to feel that unity that's going on in the city, and I'm really proud to be able to have this opportunity to do this.
Right, and you guys are already off to the right foot. You've already developed a relationship with the Humane Society. So talk about that. Talk about your business, what you want to do, your expectations. So you want to be a community-oriented kind of business.
Yeah, definitely. We reached out to the Humane Society early. Actually, Deb from the Humane Society reached out to me. Actually, now that I think back, but in any case, she saw what we were doing. And starting our build out and that type of stuff in the city of Troy. Troy's just about maybe a half hour outside the city, north, And that's going to be our first location. We wanted to be sort of centrally located in the the Metro Detroit area. The second location, we're hoping to go east, and people in Detroit will know what I'm saying, along I-94 corridor, so kind of the east side. Third location, I'm not sure yet what Chris and I will do, but in that case, the Humane Society, we got into a great relationship with them early on, and now over several lunches and sponsorships we did with the Mutt March, and some of the ladies here came out for that, and it was a great event. I don't know, 1,400 people with their dogs at the Etzel Ford Estate. It was great, and the exposure we've gotten with them. So now we're working with the Humane Society to come up with a mutually beneficial relationship. We want to help them, they want to help us, and build together and help dogs ultimately.
Exactly, and that's the amazing thing. What's your spin on this? What do you think? I like Pete's explaining that kind of community thing. What's your vision of Hounds Town in Detroit?
Hounds Town in Detroit?
Well, the whole thing, like your vision. If you were to say, you know what it was like a year for last year. Now, what do you see in 3 years, 2 years?
I just see us dominating the doggy daycare.
There we go. There we go.
There. I mean, I just know that just through Facebook, word of mouth, just how we've already been involved with the Humane Society. There are so many people already so excited about Hounds Town being in Detroit.
And what do you attribute that to? Like your Facebook campaign or your Google? I mean, a lot of times we start marketing your business way before you
I
open.
think that and just the people we know, everybody we know has dogs,
Right.
loves dogs, and it doesn't matter where they already go right now. I mean, they're all going to come to Houndstown. It's just people, we can't get open fast enough.
But I agree with you, though. I think the social media aspect of this is a big deal, and I
Yeah,
think
for
without
sure.
Jackie's assistance on that, we wouldn't be right now where we are,
Completely.
so.
And I
with our
think some of
exposure.
our, that's good to hear. I think some of our franchisees, I don't know the first thing about it, but I trust people that do. So Jackie understands geofencing.
Right.
There's all stuff that's happening I don't have a clue about. And
Yeah, we know who to go to for what.
Me
Right.
being parked in front of our building right now has for sure helped.
right, your
Oh,
wrap
yeah.
vehicle, you got this
Yeah.
cool Jeep
We
wrap
got the Jeep
vehicle.
Wrangler wrapped, yes.
Yeah. So it's exciting for us, and hopefully maybe even next week you'll call in when you get back to Detroit and let us know what's happening. But everything you're saying, and what makes me kind of our charity work, every McDonald's, there's McDonald House, everybody does philanthropic stuff, but ours is really genuinely, and not that the others aren't, but we just don't write checks to people. We are part of the community, and the Humane Society in Detroit, you're going to partner up. God forbid there's some kind of hurricane or disaster or flood. Hounds Town USA is committed to helping them out. We're going to grab some dogs and take care of them, and exactly partner up with them. So I'm really proud of that factor. More than anything, I just think that's what making money is, of course, the goal of running a small business. You have to make money. But on the other hand, giving back, it sounds a little cliche, but I think as the older we get, I'm trying to get to heaven as fast as possible, and I'm running out of time here. So I have to catch up a little bit. So I try to do actually more philanthropic stuff now than I did. So listen, what do you think now, because you're going to kind of be the face of the business, I think, right, Trendy?
Trendy, yeah, she will be.
You're going to be the one taking in dogs. Now, you're going to have friends coming. Are you going to be able to transition them the way I'm going to transition? And this week, I'm going to transition you
Yes,
from
I
being
will be able
anthropomorphic to explaining to them.
I will
Don't
become
look, talk, and
confident. I
touch.
will
You're
be
going to
able
become
to.
competent. And that's good. And that's important because you guys don't know who Cy Sims was, but he was a business owner. And Cy Sims' logo was, an educated consumer is our best customer. We don't lie to people. We don't exploit people. We tell them the truth. We speak, we do it. It's not theoretical, so it's not like you guys just decided to open up a doggy daycare and see what happens. We have a very strong system in place that I'm very proud of. Not for me, for the franchisees and my staff that carry out this work, and it's awesome. So thanks for coming on The Dish on Dogs.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and Professor's laughing over there. What's happening over there, Professor?
Just looking at pictures of Brooklyn.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got
All right, guys. We're going to take a break. We'll stay on Facebook for a minute or not a break. We're done until next Monday. I don't know what the hell we're going to be talking about next week. I don't know where
We
I
have our
am,
boot
why
camp
I'm
Traeger
here.
coming in.
What's that?
Boot camp Traeger.
Oh, good. We'll have a
Sergeant, sorry.
boot camp. We're going to turbo training. It's so easy and fast you can't do it. Bye, folks.